I know we recently had this question come up, but I thought it'd be fun to approach this from a different direction. Somebody asked me about the difference between the roles and the accountabilities as a Scrum Master. And I thought the more that I sat down and thought about what a Scrum Master does, the more I thought about the principle of triage and how doctors and emergency rooms and other places ask lots of open ended questions to help figure out exactly what's wrong with a patient. So I thought about comparing asking questions and which questions are most essential to how we can better engage and understand the role of a Scrum Master. So, asking the right questions is crucial for anybody in any capacity. If you're a doctor, you have a set of questions you ask. If you're a plumber, you have a set of questions you ask. It doesn't matter what you do. If you're a hairstylist, you have a set of questions you ask. You need to make sure that you're getting the customer exactly what they want, right? So, asking the right set of questions is critical. Now, I do want to point out something else too. I was having a conversation with my dad this past week, and we are talking about the difference between talking and communicating. And it's easy for someone to just rattle off a list of questions and not really care what the answers are. But if you're being a good communicator, you're paying attention to those conversations and engaging differently based on a context. And you are becoming an excellent communicator and not just asking questions and fielding answers, right? So, what are some of those questions? What do they look like, and how can you be ready for them? So, I'm going to give you a list of some of the ones that I think are the most important. So, starting at the top, you should always ask questions to know more about your team. So, this doesn't have to get extremely personal, but I always say you need to know more to build rapport. I always say you need to know something about their personal life, something about what they do and what makes them tick. And then I often, frame it up with these three questions. So one is, what is it that you love the most about what you do? What is it you love the most about being here at work? On a separate occasion, you might ask this person, they can't be planned or contrived. You have to spread them out. The second one might be, what is it that you hate the most about what you do? If I could take one thing off your plate, what would it be? And then the third question would be, do you love what you're doing now? And if not, what would you rather be doing? Now, as I mentioned, you can't schedule a meeting and say, I'm going to ask you these three questions. This has to be kind of off the cuff and sporadic, because the more unplanned it is, the better the response you're going to get. And the more the person's going to trust that you're genuinely interested in their feelings, right? You don't want it to come across as, oh, I listened to this podcast and I read this article and it told me to ask you these questions. The less it feels like that, the better. Okay. How about number two? Ask follow-up questions after you listen. So listening attentively is only half. It's half the story. When you ask those good follow-up questions, especially picturing a job interview, when they say, do you have anything for us? I always find a way to ask them some follow-up questions, because it's good to know that you can, engage in deeper discussion. It helps you gain a better comprehensive understanding of whatever the topic is. And it really shows the other party that you have a genuine interest. And I always start this conversation, even if it's something I feel like I disagree with. I always start the conversation with, that sounds interesting, but help me understand how it applies to X, or help me understand how this will help us do Y, or help me understand where we're going with this, right? And I think the help me understand really, really goes a long way. Okay, here comes the next one. Ask questions to clarify your role. I think that if you take the time to, even as a Scrum Master, ask the right questions to clarify where you are, it ensures that you're aligned with the team's goals and objectives, and that you're aligned with what their expectations are. So if you can ask questions and say, okay, and what role do I plan helping you with this? It makes sure that they know how much they want you to contribute, and how much they want you to be part of the day-to-day activities versus just someone in the background who's helping them get things done, right? Okay, I got a couple more. We'll make them fast. The next one's ask questions about the company and the product. I think that a lot of people automatically pawn themselves on a product owner and say, oh, the PO knows this, we're good. But if you ask questions about the company, about their mission, about their vision, about the product or service being developed, if you find out from stakeholders how this aligns with what their stakeholders do, and you understand how the goals of the company and the values of the company align with your own personal values and goals, and how those align with the business objectives, it's going to help you thread everything together and say, I get it and this makes sense. That's the best one. All right, finally, ask questions about expectations. So a lot of times in my classes, I teach the principle of GROW, GROW, where I talk about what is our goal to make sure we're all on the same page, what is our reality, and how far are we from our goal. If it's a giant chasm, we need to have that discussion. But if it's something that's right there, yeah, we need to have that discussion too, right? Then we need to know about any kind of opportunities or any kind of thing that we could do, options or opportunities to help us get closer to the goal. And then we need to make a commitment for what we will do today. This type of conversation helps resolve or prevent misunderstandings, helps reduce conflict, helps enhance overall efficiency. It's going to help everyone on the Agile team feel like they understand their place and they understand what they're supposed to be doing. And I think that if you master the art of asking the right questions and being a good communicator, it's just going to make you someone that people want to be around. That's going to do it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have a topic you want us to discuss, learn more at agiledad.com. We'd love to hear from you. As always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.